Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Mandy Noell. Tonight, a homicide investigation is underway in Lumberton. A man was killed in this grassy field behind me around 9:30 last night. Officers, investigators, detectives out here all night searching for clues, trying to find out exactly what happened. Some neighbors in this community have started raking the water out of their garages, and some of the homes that sit right beside creeks are seeing such elevated water levels. The backs of their homes are flooding, and I'm told that some of these flooded roads are actually seeing water that's waist high. Just in this area right here, if I went to the deepest part, it would be above my knees. It is an issue for us, but also for our neighbors to the south. It's even more so as drivers are getting ready to hit the roads this morning. So we want to show you right now what it looks like in downtown Charleston. Julie, that shooting here at University Suites Apartments in Conway killed 21-year-old Craig Gray Jr. And while we know he was a Coastal Carolina University student, we don't know where he's from or where his family lives. It starts right here, your thermostat. Experts at Sandy Cooper say the optimal temperature for wintertime to help you save the most and stay warm is 68 degrees. Now, some of us are a little cold-natured, so keep a sweatshirt close, put it on when you're cold. You'll be glad you did when the electric bill comes in. We actually just learned from the Horry County Coroner's Office the victim is a 37-year-old male. The coroner's office is working to identify his next of kin at the moment. An autopsy is scheduled today. Say I'm using the app and my photographer John is tracking my walk home. If I don't feel safe in my surroundings, I can tap a button to let him know. John will get an alert and know exactly where I am, or I can choose to call police. In hours, some of the nearly 3,500 golfers who registered throughout the weekend will be teeing off right here at Arrowhead Country Club. Many of them have been here all weekend getting in practices before the big tournament begins. Highway Patrol confirmed to me a man on a bicycle was hit. He was taken to Grand Strand Medical Center. We're going to show you a closer look at that scene right now. Highway Patrol officers are out here investigating. I actually spoke with some of the people who tell me they were in the car that hit the man. Brennan, Horry County Major Crimes Unit is here investigating a death they are calling suspicious. The body of that deceased person was, as you mentioned, found at the bottom of the stairwell. This building right behind me, police have roped off this entire area. We can't go over there. The pizza delivery driver told police he pulled up in front of this building at the Bay Point Apartments. He says the suspects walked toward him from this gazebo, telling him it was their order. He had their pizza, but when he couldn't give them change for their $100 bill, he says they stole the pizza. They took off running, and when he chased them, one of the suspects pointed a gun at him, and then all three of them took off toward the woods. That time of year, the flu season is almost upon us. With all that comes the symptoms, the chills, aches, fever, fatigue, that all around, I just want to crawl back into bed feeling. Flu season is often unpredictable. If a deer catches you by surprise on the road, there's a good chance you'll end up here at the mechanic. Just this morning, there were a handful of animal and deer-related crashes reported by South Carolina Highway Patrol, and this is the time of the year you need to be especially careful on the roadways, particularly at dawn and dusk. Brennan and I recently just talked with some fire officials out here. Battalion Chief Tom Guire tells me they do believe this home is going to be considered a total loss. Investigators are now inside. They were waiting for carbon monoxide levels to get low enough so that they could go in and really begin their investigation. They were called out here, and they got here around 4:50 or so this morning. They say it was difficult for them to even see anything because the rain was pushing the smoke so close to the ground. They couldn't even tell which house was on fire. They did eventually see flames, they say, shooting out the front door. You can see how damaged the front of the home is. And as I mentioned, they do believe this home will be a total loss. Now, one of the women out here tells me she lives in this home with her children. They were in one room when they say they noticed flames shooting out of the bedroom, but everyone was able to get out safely. She tells me, of course, they don't know what they're going to do now. Now, this home is actually in a pocket of Horry County, so while Myrtle Beach fire investigators responded to fight the fire, the investigation will be done by Horry County Fire Rescue, and I'm told those officials are on scene and will begin conducting that investigation soon to determine the cause of that fire. Stick with WNBF News. 6 sleeping people awoken from this home in the middle of the night to smoke and flames, making it out with only the clothes on their back. Mostly everything they left inside is ruined, but still they say they're grateful.
My mom, she woke us up. She came in the room and told us to get out with a fire. and I just grabbed my baby and we just ran.
Elizabeth Edie's entire family got out safely, and as firefighters put out the flames in the rain and the sun came up this morning, the reality of what could have happened set in.
Because the fire went towards the back, towards my room. If it wasn't for my mom telling us it was a fire, I don't think I would have been here, nor my son and my fiance.
Firefighters determined the blaze, which started around 4:50 this morning, started in a front bedroom. Investigators are working to determine the cause, but say there were few things they were able to salvage.
Nothing at all. We don't have nowhere to go, no clothes. We don't have anything.
Edie's wedding is on the horizon.
November the 1st.
And while she's not sure she'll be able to keep that date,
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep praying that everything be all right.
the fire has shifted her priorities.
So I supposed to bought the wedding dress today. I think sheltering more clothes on my back is way more important than a wedding dress. I could put on anything to say I do. Honestly. As long as I say I do, I'll be happy.
While this family doesn't know what will happen next, they say the power of faith and family will help get them through. Reporting in Horry County, Mandy Noell for WMBF News. The crowd gathered on either side of the street to welcome the Whitmore family to their brand new home in their new neighborhood.
We've lived in military housing my whole career.
But today, Pulte Homes joined nonprofit Operation Finally Home to donate the mortgage-free home to the Whitmores, something the group does for wounded veterans across the country. And when it came time to go inside,
It's overwhelming. It's a glorious day. The home is absolutely beautiful. It's more than anything that I could ever have imagined.
today was drastically different from many recent days for Staff Sergeant Sean Whitmore, who was critically injured in Afghanistan in 2007.
A rocket was shot into our compound and landed next to me and threw me through the air. Separated my shoulders, various internal injuries.
Much of his time has been spent recovering.
I've had my hip replaced, femurs partially replaced, spine, vertebrae, shoulders, biceps, clavicles, TBI, and obviously I live with PTSD every day.
But today, he, his wife, and their children discovered new surprises around each corner of their brand new home, designed just for them. One of the most unique add-ons to this home, I'm told many of the thousands of people who had a hand in making this dream home a reality wrote notes to the family, and those notes have been put in the walls throughout the home.
Because of your injuries, you can't serve in the military anymore, and it's what your calling is. It's what your job is. You wake up as a father and as a husband. I'd wake up every day and I'd wonder, how am I going to be able to provide for my family and give them the things that I promised them that I would give them.
That concern is off the table.
Now I don't have to worry about where we're going to stay, if my kids are going to have a place to grow up, and if we're going to have to live, bunked up or whatever.
Reporting in Myrtle Beach,
It's my heart right there.
Mandy Noell for WMBF News.